Facebook fans, I'm Susie. Today I'm here with John and we're going to go over how to build a bug out bag. We really encourage you to ask us questions during the live feed. If you have any comments, if you, any items that you specifically have used in your bug out bag that worked really well, we want to know. And we're going to be watching, we'll engage with you, and hopefully we'll answer your questions to the best of our ability. So let's get started. Let's go over what a bug out bag is. I'm sure there are people out there thinking, what in the world is a bug out bag? Essentially, it's a bag like this that you're going to fill with survival items that you would use to survive any sort of disaster. It's supposed to last you about 72 hours, giving you enough time to find another means of survival, shelter, things like that. And it's really good for camping, hiking, anything outdoors. It's definitely something that you want to keep in mind for natural disasters and things of that nature. So we're going to get started. First, we're going to talk about the bag. This is our medium transport pack, and if you'll notice, the medium transport pack is our gear of the month for August. I'm going to let you in on a little secret. We're going to be giving away 5 of these bags next week. And if you comment during our live feed today, you will automatically be entered to win one of our medium transport packs. So we definitely want to hear from you. Feel free to question, comment, anything. All right, so we're going to get started. Let's start with, what would you use first? What would you pack first? What would be important to pack first in the bag?
I would say the most important thing that you would need for any kind of survival situation or any scenario like that would most certainly be water. Would be the number one, staying hydrated.
Perfect. So here we have a water bottle and a, John, what would you call this?
It's the Molly water bottle pouch. It's completely Molly compatible, so you can attach it to the outside of the bag if you don't want to take up storage on the inside. And being that water is something that you want to be able to get to, because if you need it, you absolutely do need it. Having it on the outside of the backpack gives it a little bit more accessibility. So that was definitely something I would say would work together pretty well.
So it doesn't take up space. I'm going to put it on the outside of the pack. Matt says hi. Hi, Matt. Glad that you're joining in. EJ as well. What's up? How's it going? Glad you're watching. So continuing, if you're just tuning in, this is John. He's attaching the Molly water bottle pouch to the bag. Water is essential for surviving. And now we're going to go over this little handy dandy contraption. Since water is so essential, and you may be in a situation where water is not clean and you don't want to take a chance, this is the
Aquamira water filter.
Aquamira water filter. And it's simple. You just attach it like so, stick it in the water, and drink from the straw, and it filters the water for you. So what would be next?
After that, I would say fire and food are going to be pretty high on the list, making sure that you not only can keep yourself warm and keep your food clean, but to make sure that you can actually nourish yourself, because again, when stress sets in, you got to make sure you take care of yourself so you can take care of your head.
Great. So first, we have
Day-Trex.
Day-Trex.
So these little Day-Trex rations right here, they're nice because they're very compact and they give you a lot of calories. These are typically going to be more used on like lifeboats as water rations, but they're great for a bug out bag because they take up virtually no space.
Great. So where would you put them in the bag?
The food isn't something that you necessarily have to get to right away, but it is something that you're going to want to be able to get to. So I'm going to put that more towards the front right here. And let's combine that with, what do we got over here?
We have the stove.
Okay, so the camping stove is nice, pretty straightforward. It's just an easy way to get your fire ready. You can take, I believe we've got these little SBIC cubes right here, which are great because once you get these things burning, they don't go out. Even in wet conditions, they'll hold up. But it's great because they can either fit directly underneath or on top of if you prefer. And you can always prop that up, set up your mess kit, which we've got right here.
We have a question from Dan Wolf. He wants to know, how much food should you carry in a primary bug out bag?
For a bug out bag, again, because you only want to be using this for up to 72 hours maximum, I would say, I don't know how to quantify. I would say maybe usually a couple of energy bars are a good kind of food for you. Something that doesn't take up too much space, but that gives you some nutrients and some padding as you're going. You don't want to go hungry.
Exactly. What food would you guys like to pack? I would probably have granola bars. Those are really good. They don't really go bad. They're packaged and they're easy to put in the bag. So we want to know, what kind of food do you guys pack?
Granola bars are good. Peanut butter is a good option as well, and protein bars also, because if you're going to be out there, especially if you're under strenuous conditions, protein is going to be good for recovery, keeping you strong and making sure you can continue.
Great. All right, so let's get these in the bag.
All right, and I believe we can actually take our mess kit, and to save us some space.
So he's putting the chow kit and the solid fuel cubes into the mess kit so that it's nice and compact, it won't float around, and you can pack it easily. We have another question. Virgil Williams would like to know how long a kit would normally last. Typically with the bug out bags, you'd want them to last you up to 72 hours. It gives you enough time to move on from the disaster area and find another means of survival. So typically about 72 hours.
And I mean, that can go shorter as well. A lot of this also does depend on where you're setting this up and your personal actual health and conditions. So the bug out bag is very customizable, and this is mostly just a general overview, but between 24 and 72 hours is what you want to aim for. This isn't an indefinite bag. This is just to get you from A to B and keep you going.
Great. All right, so from there, get your fire started to cook. I know we have a couple of items here that can help start fires, so we'll talk about this. Is the Aurora fire starter.
Okay.
You want to explain how that works?
Fairly simple. This is a ferrocerium rod, as it's known, or they also call them fire steels. And one of the best parts about this is that even when it's wet out, you can always strike your fire. What this does is it shoots sparks, essentially.
Okay.
So you would basically say this was where your tinder was. You would place this down, take the striker that's included on the top, and you want to get this black coating off, and then as soon as you start striking down, it'll actually shoot the sparks into your tinder, starting the fire.
Great. So another easy way to start your fire. Someone just asked if there will be a list of items at the end of this. Yes, we will include a list of all the items that we've talked about today. So moving on from the fire starter, I know we have this little handy dandy survival whistle, which also, explain to me, there's a little black strip on the whistle. Can you explain to me what that is?
Yeah, this is also another ferro rod that you can use. It's just a smaller version of what I just shown, and it's just cool because this is a multi-purpose tool. You can use it for signaling if you need help. It does have a water-floated compass on top.
Right.
If you pop it up open on the inside, it's actually a waterproof matchstick holder.
Perfect.
And you've also got your ferro striking rod on the side.
Awesome. So that kind of goes with this little green container here. This is a waterproof matchstick holder. It also has the little strip on the bottom so that you can strike and start a fire.
That's for the matches themselves, a match striker.
Right.
So.
Perfect. So these two can go together. Where would you put these in the bug out bag?
Being that these are both mostly our backup, not our primary fire starters, I would keep them somewhere towards the front where we can access them quickly.
Great.
But not necessarily somewhere they have to be accessed right away.
Right, and they're small enough where there's little pockets on the inside of the bag where they just fit right into the little pockets and they're nice and contained. So finishing up with food and fire, we have the little survival fishing kit. Depending on where you live, this may be beneficial to you. It's just an easy way to catch fish, you know, if you run out of food or something like that. So we're just going to put that in the front of the bug out bag as well. It's not something you may need right away, but if you're in an area where water is prominent, it might be something that you'd like to have.
And another aside, another plus to the small fishing kit, even if you're not in an area that has a lot of water, because of what comes in the fishing kit, some of the contents like the hooks can actually be used to make snares and traps for hunting small game instead of using for fishing.
Perfect. I know Rob Carter asked, what do you feel is the most important item to pack in your bag?
In the bag, I mean, the most important item to have on you at all times, I would say, is water, 100%. Secondary most important item or tool to have on you, I think, just as a person, would be a good solid knife.
Great. Awesome. Well, that brings us to one of the knives that we will pack in the bag. Do you want to explain just real fast?
Sure, yeah. A good folding knife is a nice little piece of utility to have on you. I'm a big advocate for having a solid fixed blade knife on you as well, but a good folding knife is great for doing all the smaller tasks and chores that you don't want to dull out your bigger knife doing. Anything you need more control for can be usually better handled with a nice solid folding knife.
Great. So we're going to put that right on the front. As you can see, there's little molly strips on the front of the bag, and there's a clip on the knife. So you can just clip that on the front, and you're good to go. It's easy accessible, but it doesn't take too much space in the bug out bag. So moving forward, let's see if we have, that's the fire starter. Gotta keep that in the bag. Let's see, Nazira asked, can you pack canned food, and how often do you change your supply?
Okay, canned food is 100% an option, yes. One of the downsides that you're going to be looking at is the space it consumes, as well as the weight that it's going to take up. But that being said, you should always just keep note of the expiration dates on your canned food. Try to cycle them out within the year. I believe they normally last. And yeah, otherwise I'll say just be more careful, because you can also puncture the cans.
Great.
So that's one thing. I would say maybe an MRE, if you can field strip it and break it down, would be a better option than canned food.
Perfect. I know I've seen that some people have commented saying that they would pack an MRE, so it's great that you bring that up. MRE is great. It all depends on, what your preference is. We're just giving you guys a general guideline of what you can pack. So this way you can modify it to where your area is and what your preferences are. It's great that you guys are commenting. I just want to remind you guys again, if you do comment, you get to enter to win one of our medium transport packs sometime next week. So please make sure you're commenting. We really love this feedback. It's great. So next we are going to talk about after food, fire, water, what's important?
Well, like I said, I think that having good solid edge tools are incredibly important just for us as human beings.
Sure.
So let's move on to some woods tools. And being that I already brought up a good solid fixed blade, here we actually have the Rothco paracord knife that comes with another incredibly handy little ferrocerium rod.
Perfect. So fire starter.
There you go, and you got a nice little combo there. So now you can start fire. You can clean brush. If you get some limbs that fell from trees, you can always clean them off better with a nice solid fixed blade, and get your tinder ready.
Great. So that's perfect. And it's nice and compact. Comes in a little sheath and everything.
Belt loop allows you to keep it right on your side, so it takes up less space. Once you actually evacuate an area, some of these items you'll actually notice you can move onto other parts of your body, so it'll cut down on some of the weight inside the bag, and it'll help you disperse weight more evenly as you go.
Perfect. So let's say you didn't want to put it on your belt right away. Where in the bag would you put this?
I would say this is something that should be fairly readily accessible, but it needs to be in a pouch that'll fit it easily. So right up here in the front, it tucks away perfectly.
Great. That's perfect.
Next up, I was talking about felling trees and getting your limbs and all that ready. So a good tomahawk is always something nice to take. If you can afford the weight in your pack, by all means. 110% a great tool to have on you. Not only can it be used in a defensive role, but it is great for getting, like I said, small trees, saplings, and even if you want to use this to clean up branches,
sure.
Good way to go.
That's perfect. And look at that. It comes apart. So it's perfect. You may be thinking, oh, I don't want to put that big axe in my bag. It's going to take up space. It could puncture things. Well, this axe in particular does come apart. And it comes with a little nice pouch that you can put in, pack it nice and tight, and that pouch also has a belt loop. So if you don't want it in the bag, you can attach it to your belt. It's easily accessible. You run into a lot of brush, you need to chop it down really fast, you can put that together. But let's say that you're not chopping things down. What's the next?
Next item we've got here is one of our folding camp shovels. This is a great tool if you are in any area where you need to entrench yourself, or even if you're just creating a shelter for the night. Digging in a little bit helps you to kind of avoid some of the wind drift that you can get, and especially if you're in a snowy area, using the shovel to help you build yourself a snow drift at the entrance and exit of your survival tent is kind of a huge thing.
Perfect.
So that's nice.
And it folds. So you can fold it, put it in the little pouch that it comes with, put it right into the bag. So where someone, Nazira, is asking where you can buy the shovel. It's Rothco shovel. You can buy it right on our website at rothco.com.
All right. So now we've got two good extra camping items.
Awesome.
And that's going to be great for getting your small area set up in a bug out bag. In this situation, you're not going to be staying anywhere too long, but this will help you get a nice small camp so you can get your rest in and then keep on moving.
Perfect, the essential tools. If you're looking to buy the tools or any of the items that you see here today, visit our website and go to the dealer locator and plug in your zip code or your area, and you can find a dealer, an authorized Rothco dealer near you, where you can buy the essential items for your bug out bag. So, moving forward, I know that having some extra clothes is really important as well. If you get wet, something happens, you're going to want at least something to change into. So I know we have a few clothing items here. Do you want to briefly talk about those?
Check these out real quick. I'm just going to move these to the side before we pack them.
Sure. We'll show you where these go after we talk about the clothes. There's a bit of a strategy when it comes to packing the bug out bag.
All right, so we've got a couple of different items here, and each one has its own obvious particular uses. The gloves I'm going to start off with because I feel like they're the most important to have in the bag, and especially once you get down to building a campfire if you need one, or handling any kind of touchy items, anything that looks sharp or dangerous. One of the last things that you need while you're in a bug out situation is any form of medical problems. So in order to help prevent some of the blisters you can get, some of the splinters or just random cuts on your hands, a good pair of gloves is a great way to go, and they'll also help insulate your hands a little bit in colder weather.
Great,
so
that's perfect. Definitely a good idea to have gloves on hand.
After that, we've got a fresh pair of socks. Now, some people may look at this and think, do I really need socks in a bug out bag? For anyone who's ever actually gotten their feet wet while they were hiking, camping, if they had to do any kind of treks or rucks, they will tell you right off the bat, one of the worst things that you can have is a wet pair of feet. So having an extra pair of socks, a particular poly cotton blend or nylon, wool, anything that's not a straight cotton is going to be better for you for moisture wicking purposes.
Okay.
Moving along, we've got a shemagh. These things have infinite uses. We actually even have multiple videos on our website.
On YouTube, they're also on our Facebook page too, on different ways that you can use the shemagh, and especially in a survival situation, there's plenty of uses. This does not go to waste. It's definitely an essential item you're going to want to keep in your bag.
Absolutely. So they take up no space, they take up no weight. It's a no-brainer. Lastly, what we've got over here is a nice flannel. And again, this is going to be more dictated based on area, but for a good bug out bag, I mean, if the weather's going to be dropping, maybe later at night, you live in a cold area, maybe somewhere around the desert, having an extra layer is absolutely key to survival.
Definitely, I agree.
So, a lot of this, again, you may be looking at and thinking, well, that's a lot of stuff, it's going to take up a lot of space, how are you going to fit that in there? So, I'm going to roll this into a skivvy roll, which we also
have a video on. It shows you how to do it. Do you want to just explain what a skivvy roll is as you're doing it?
Absolutely. Normally, for a skivvy roll, what you would do is you would take a shirt, you would take your pants, underwear, socks, basically like your clothing for a day.
Right.
And let's move this over just a little bit so I can kind of demonstrate this more. But yeah, it's essentially just a way of rolling it all together so that everything takes up less space.
Sure.
So, the way we've got it right now, take this, lay these out, move it a little over here for you guys. Okay, so we've got our stuff basically right here in the middle that we're going to pack. Our shirt's on the outside. And we're going to take our socks and leave them open like this, kind of sticking out a little bit. Now we're going to take from the bottom, and we're just going to roll this all over, leaving the sock ends facing tube out. Once you get this all rolled down nice and compact, you're going to take your tube ends, open them up the reverse way around your clothing.
So this helps compact your clothing items. It's a nice little tube, and you can just stick them right in your bag. They're all together. You don't have to worry about them loose, rolling around in the bag. You know exactly where they are, and if you need to get to them, they're right there.
Keep on going. I'm just gonna.
So that's great. If you're just tuning in, we're going over what to pack in a bug out bag. We're encouraging you to comment with questions and things that you also like to put in your bug out bags. These comments will give you a chance to win a medium transport pack, which is the bag that we're using to pack. It's also our gear of the month. So we are giving away these bags next week, and if you comment or interact with us, you're going to automatically be entered to win. So make sure you're commenting. And so he's putting the makeshift skivvy roll right into the bag in the bottom.
Yeah, we're going to go more towards the back because this isn't necessarily something you're going to need right on the spot. So if you need to dig it out for a second, it's okay. And we also want to keep the lighter items closer to the bottom. When you keep the heavier items closer to your shoulders, it just makes it easier to ruck around for a little bit longer. So that would be essential. And then after that, that's when we're going to put in the heavier items that can be transferred to our belt, moved around our person.
Perfect. So we're packing the collapsible axe as well as the folding shovel. They're going in the big main compartment that's in the back of the bag right here. And you just zip it together. And it's good to go. All right. And the gloves. Where would you pack the gloves?
The gloves, because they are an important item and I feel like they are something that should be used fairly frequently, we're just going to leave them right up front.
Great. So they're easily accessible. They're right in one of the outside pouches.
Just tuck that up for now. So there may or may not be another item or two going in.
So next, another essential item that is vital for survival is going to be first aid. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. And I've got to say, first aid is one of those things that a lot of people don't take seriously enough. I feel like it's not one of those high-speed, cool items like knives are or your self-protection. But it's incredibly important to make sure that you can take care of yourself in these conditions, especially when you have no idea when you're going to be able to seek actual professional help.
Right.
So. Great.
Thanks, Adam, for telling us that we got good stuff. We're trying. Thanks for tuning in. We're glad you're watching. Right now we're talking about first aid. This is our tactical first aid pouch. As you can see, it's MOLLE compatible. So this is great. You can attach it to the outside of your bag so that it's readily accessible in any sort of emergency. You don't want to be digging around in your bag for the first aid kit.
And just as a side note, all the stuff that we're showing you that is MOLLE compatible, these do come with the straps actually sewn in, so you don't need to go and buy any extra items like quick sticks or anything like that to try and slip anything down the side. Everything comes ready to go.
Great.
On the inside real quick, you'll note that not only do we have your essentials like your gloves, some medical tape, cold packs, hydrogen peroxide, and all the good stuff, but we also pack in there some essentials of first aid for anybody who isn't maybe too familiar. This may be able to help you get through a really bad situation where you otherwise wouldn't know what to do.
So essentially guidelines. Obviously not everyone's a nurse or would know how to take care of a broken bone or how to stop bleeding, so it's all right in that little piece of paper and it all fits conveniently in the first aid pouch. So you would attach that to the outside of the bag?
To the front of the bag, absolutely.
Great.
This is, again, one of those items, if you need it, you absolutely have to get to this as soon as you can.
Perfect. So let's put that on the front of the bag. See, the bag has a lot of MOLLE.
Let's move this over to the side strap right over here.
So we're moving the folding knife over to a side MOLLE strap so that the knife is easily accessible, but we want the first aid kit to be first point.
Right.
Thanks for commenting, guys. Cornell says that he uses a small field notebook. That's great if you're out and about and you see something, you need to make a note of something, you need to leave a note for someone. It's great. We actually have one right here. And this is our little all-weather notebook. And you can just fit that right in your pouch and it's good to go. So next step, just really fast to go with the first aid kit. It's always important, at least in my bug out bag, I would have insect repellent. You want to take those precautionary measures. You don't want to be all covered in bug bites. So we're just going to put the little insect repellent out in the first pouch. It's small and it fits conveniently in the front.
It's a great point. Preventative medicine is the best medicine.
Exactly. You want to take any preventative measure when it comes to the bug out bag. So preventative measures, you want to talk about shelter. You need shelter. You're not going to last very long if you don't have something to protect you from the elements. You want to talk about the kind of shelter that we can use here?
Sure, yeah. So we've got a couple pieces that work in conjunction for this. The first two are less vital to this than these. So what we've got right here is the survival tent.
Perfect.
This is going to be great to put up really quick. It is one of the reflective materials. You can see kind of like the space blankets. So this is going to be great to help you retain some heat. And again, if you're just putting up a quick shelter for getting maybe just a couple of hours of sleep so you can continue moving, getting to where you need to go, this is going to be a really easy way to put something up, break it back down, and get to where you're going. But
Great.
You would probably, I mean, it does come with rope, but 550 paracord is definitely something that I would like to include in the bag because it has so many uses. It's stronger than most cords that you're going to come across. And if you do need more heavy duty work out of it, double up.
It's perfect. It's always great to have paracord on hand. There's so many uses, as John said, that you can use it for. It's really strong. If you need to drag something behind you, if something breaks and you need to make sure that it's fixed, the paracord is really going to be a lifesaver.
I mean, even if you want to tie up the bag in the trees so,
Exactly.
you know, critters and like bears and raccoons and stuff like that don't get to it.
Depending on your area, for sure.
Yeah.
That's great. What else do we have here?
We've got an all-weather vinyl poncho.
Great. You need that. You never know what the weather's going to be like, and you don't want to be trying to survive soaking wet.
Exactly. Again, preventative medicine is the best medicine.
Measures.
So we've got one of them.
Perfect.
And that'll pack into basically anything, the nice, compact, disposable.
As you can see, it's the size of my hand. It's very thin. Fits right into the bag.
All right. After that, we also have an emergency polar shield blanket.
Great.
Again, going back to the whole survival tent thing, again, if you get wet, if you're cold at all, you guys need to make sure you're retaining body heat. This is a great way to do it. They reflect about 90% of your body heat back at you.
That's awesome.
So again,
That's warm.
Lightweight, takes up no space. Great addition. There's no reason not to carry one.
Great. So we're going to pack all that in this middle pack right here. There's even a mesh pocket so you can fit the smaller stuff like the blanket and the poncho together, and then that paracord can go right on top, and so can the tent.
And if you notice, this whole pouch right here now is essentially like a homesteading pouch. So you know where your food cooking items are going to be. You've got your tent, you've got all that good stuff. It's all in the same area.
Right here. So we got a question. Jennifer asked if we sell paracord bracelets. We do. Paracord bracelet is another great way to make sure you have paracord with you. Clips right on, and you have paracord.
Absolutely.
If you're just joining in, if you're watching, we're really encouraging you to comment any questions or things that you use in the bug out bag. These comments automatically enter you to win a medium transport pack, which we will be giving away next week as part of our Gear of the Month for August. So I think we're wrapping up. We only have a few more items out here. Another essential survival item, if you're in the woods, is going to be navigation. So you want to talk just real fast about what you got there?
It's pretty straightforward. Compass will definitely help you find your way out, especially if you've got a map or you know where you're going.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's
Great. Compass, always good to have. So we'll put that. You might want to have this readily available if you get lost in the woods, so we'll just put that in the front pocket. These last two items may not be essential, but they're good to have. This first one is the survival signal mirror. Again, self-explanatory. If you need to signal someone where you're in a situation where you can't call for help, that's going to help you. And then we also have a flashlight. Again, self-explanatory. This flashlight has a clip, so you can clip it to the outside of your bag or the backpack straps.
gonna say put it right there.
And it's readily accessible if you're in the dark and you need to grab it real fast.
And this way you also can go hands-free with the flashlight. That's the reason why the original L-shape was designed that way, was so that you can put it on military packs and be hands-free but still be able to see at night.
That's great. Awesome.
Cool.
All right, so we'll pack the survival mirror, and then we'll show you one of the great features about the transport pack is it looks a little bulky right now, but it's got some straps on the outside that helps it compact it a little bit. So you can get through those tough spaces, you know, if you're climbing or things like that. So as you can see, I'm going to turn it around. So it's got this buckle right here. So you can just strap that.
I'll let you handle all the muscly stuff.
I
You're the
got
strong
it.
one.
I'm the strong one. So you just tighten that up. And then there's straps on the side as well. And you can just just tighten those up and the pack is good to go. So, as you can see, when we started, we had a whole bunch of items here. We were able to fit it all in the bag, and these items are essential for surviving either in a disaster or any sort of emergency situation. They're roughly going to get you through about 72 hours, giving you enough time to move on, find another means of shelter. We're going to see if you guys have any more questions, anything else. We're going to wrap up. This was our bug out bag. We really thank you for joining. Anyone who commented is going to be entered to win a medium transport pack next week. And we really enjoyed speaking with you today and teaching you how to pack the bug out bag. Oh, we got a question. Are there other colors available in the medium transport pack?
Boy,
there
are there.
There are a lot. We have, I think, about 17 different colors, patterns. We will post a link to all the different colors of the medium transport pack if you want to look it up. It's a really great bag. It's perfect for bugging out. And yeah, well, we're glad that you tuned in. Thanks for all your questions and comments. It was great. And we'll see you next time.